Hey, good to see you again. Let's continue with the leadership course. Decision making is probably the first obstacle that a leader has to face and also the hardest one to master. In youth organizations, the leaders might have their first experience in leadership and management. Therefore, the hardest part of decision making is making your team trust you as a leader, as well as making yourself a person who knows what he or she is talking about. Confidence in oneself is crucial. The main questions that a leader will face are we going to do it? Who is going to do it? How much time is it going to take? Can we do it? If you noticed, every question had a word "we" in it. That is something a young leader must keep in mind. It sounds like a cliché, but there is no me in a team. You are part of the team, and that makes the decision making even harder. In youth organizations, a capitalistic view of management, where the task has to be done no matter what, in a rather small time frame, where the power hierarchy is straight top down, it doesn't work. You're all in this for the same goal, and thus decision making isn't always top down, rather than in a shared responsibility method, where everyone feels important for a greater cause. Engaging members does make decision making more difficult and time consuming. But people tend to work better for decisions that they have been engaged in and that they agree with. So it's worth the price. There are two main causes of poor decision making: insufficient motivation and cognitive biases. When a leader lacks motivation, you can see that no tasks are being delegated and the organization is at a halt. Usually the leader will slowly fade away, which means that you don't hear of them that often anymore. And when asked for some help, the answers aren't usually that helpful. The other part, cognitive biases, tends to be a problem for inexperienced leaders. Decisions are being made from hunch, something which seems logically the right way but isn't consulted with other board members or the team. This may quickly lead to a decrease of trust in the team. In some organizations, it is called backroom decision making, where the board makes some decisions and the rest of the team sees the results when the new document is made or a new project launched. It is best to avoid these kind of examples. In order to define how certain decisions are made, it is important to understand different styles of decision making. No matter what, there needs to be someone responsible who makes the final decision, either a representative of the board or a team by consensus. Many times the involvement of a team leader balance defines either the efficiency or the quality of the results. As seen in the chart, two main axes have been brought out. Either the leader involvement is really high or rather low in the team. Delegating, for example, is giving the autonomy to someone in the team to do the tasks themselves. Consultative style, on the other hand, is where the team is highly involved in decision making, but the final word is with the hands of the leader. There are mainly two ways. First, automatic and emotional. It relies on previous experience and something that would be described as seems to be logical. Or second, slow, logical, and deliberative. It is a process where you take additional time to analyze given information and the environment in order to make a really thorough decision. To be fair, in youth organizations, some decisions need actions due to lack of time. Usually your team or partner organizations await an answer rather quick. Plus, as the leader of the organization, you yourself and your members need to trust your intuition to lead the organization efficiently. Every team needs a leader. It doesn't mean that you have to make all the decisions yourself or even try to be a dictator, but leaders must be tiebreakers every once in a while. For example, when the staff or the volunteers need some extra motivation or someone to remind them what they are working for. Sometimes a leader has to make unpopular decisions. Every leader will face a back-against-the-wall situation and needs to make a decision in such. In that moment, trust yourself. And after the decision is made, know how to explain your approach. Even if you really try, you can't make everyone happy. In that case, it is even more important to explain your decisions and find a common ground, even in the worst of scenarios. Also, learn to let go. If you made a mistake or somebody is unhappy, talk to them, figure it out. Don't leave anyone unanswered, but don't hold it within you for too long. It keeps you from making the next big decision which may decide the future of your organization. As you are now capable of making tough decisions, you have to learn that everything can't be done by you alone. And that means delegating. But first, it is time to exercise.